What is up, guys? John Pat here from John Pat Fitness and Acceleration Fitness. And this week I got episode 41 for 5 tips to lose weight, gain strength, and get jacked. And this week I'm going to be talking about 5 tips to get a better butt. That's right, 5 tips to build the booty and a healthier peach gang, hashtag peach gang. Shout out. Those of you who know what I'm talking about will catch that one. But anyways, this is not only important for aesthetics for women, tend to be the ones that want to build a better butt. Guys too, but this is going to be very important for all kinds of things like low back health and athletic performance and just general usability every day for the general population. So there's lots of applications to this, and everyone should be concerned about training the butt, all right? So shout out Brett Contreras. I don't want to steal any of his thunder. He's known as the glute guy. He's done tons of research. He has a PhD in basically training glutes because that's what his research was based on. So shout out to him. Don't want to steal any of his thunder. And then also Charles Poliquin. Got some stuff from him over the years. So just kind of, you know, shout out to those guys. I don't want to seem like I am trying to claim all this stuff because all this stuff has been said before, and this is just my kind of application of what has been said by those experts and what's worked for me, what's worked for the clients here at Acceleration Fitness. So, number 1, squat, deadlift, hip thrust, and lunge. 4 movement patterns there. Everybody knows the squat, the deadlift, the hip thrust is just basically a glute bridge. There's all kinds of variations. And then everybody knows a lunge as well. Again, all kinds of variations you can do for all 4 of these, but these are the main 4 that I use to extent. There's some more here. I'm gonna talk about number 4 and 5, some different stuff, but these are the big 4 I consider, and lots of people consider for glute training and whatnot. So you need to be doing these 4 variations. Everyone, I mean, obviously there's some exceptions with injuries and whatnot, but almost everyone should be doing this if you are healthy and you want to build a bigger butt, you know, a more toned butt, whatever, prevent injury, increase athletic performance, just be stronger and healthier in that area. So it's going to affect a lot of things. So do these types of movements, all kinds of variations you can do. There's literally thousands upon thousands of variations. Number 2. Train heavy. So a lot of times I feel in the fitness industry, some people neglect this aspect of training. There is a time to go heavy on exercises, of course, safely, and once the exerciser has, you know, that technique down and they're proficient with it and they're used to it kind of, so they can go a little heavier, but there is a time to go to train heavy, especially with glutes. I feel like there's a lot of people who think, you know, a million glute kickbacks are gonna get me, you know, with a 2-pound ankle weight are gonna get me the ultimate butt, right? So for lack of a better way to put it. And those things are important, right? I'm gonna talk about that in number 3, but there's also time to go heavier, okay? Now, and not just for, you know, aesthetics reasons, but for all kinds of things with, you know, athletic performance and the benefits in other areas as well. So it's going to affect your low back, your hamstrings, your core. All those lifts are going to have aspects that help other things as well. So it's important to train heavier. And by heavier, I don't mean hitting 1 rep max on every single lift, especially if you know, if that's not what you do. If you're not a strength athlete, you don't have to do those, but you still should be training heavier, whatever heavier means to you, okay? So with that, number 3, there's also a time to train light. So there's also time to do those glute kickbacks, to do mini band work, to do all kinds of lighter stuff for higher reps, to get blood to the area, you know, the more quote-unquote bodybuilding style of things. There's times for those, but there's times to train heavy. So you need to incorporate all of them, right? I love, you know, glute bridges, high rep glute bridges. And I love, you know, mini band work, or high rep swings. Like, I love those kind of things in my own training and, you know, in clients who have developed that proficiency. You know, those things are great to promote, you know, blood flow to the area and hypertrophy work for those muscles. Now, number 4 is going to be swing. And by swing, I mean kettlebell swing variations. Kettlebell swings, I think, are kind of overlooked. They're often thought of as kind of a functional way to train, but I mean, honestly, it's a resistance method. It's a weight. It's no different than a dumbbell, right? There's different things you can do, different exercises, and one of them happens to be the kettlebell swing, but I don't think there's anything more functional per se about them. So that's not what I'm getting at all. It's explosive hip movements. So I really like swings to teach, proper, glute and hinge interaction, for lack of a better way to put it, to teach someone to squeeze their glutes actively on those types of movements. I really think that it can transfer over to a squat, squeezing the glutes, or to a deadlift, squeezing the glutes, all those kinds of things, to a hip thrust, laying on their back, pushing the hips up in the air, but actively squeezing. Because immediately you can tell if a person, I call it active versus passive swinging. I don't know, I'm probably not the first one to come up with that. I've never read it anywhere, but that's just what I kind of refer to it as. And a passive kettlebell swing is here, just kind of using the momentum to go back and forth, still hinging, but just allowing the resistance, the load of the kettlebell just to kind of help you travel through that hinge. But an active swing is swinging, but actively, boom, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the glutes. When you do those, you should feel your glute max fire hard, right? You should feel it in your hamstrings as well, travel down the chain, right? So pop those hips forward, squeeze the glutes actively each and every time. And later this week, I'm going to be, well, actually earlier when I released this video, but earlier this week, I put out kind of a little a glute warm-up sequence that I like to use, or just exercises that I like to use to warm up my glutes and get them firing and get some blood flow to the area before I squat, before I deadlift. I like to do it before most workouts, really, just because if I'm doing all upper body, I probably squatted or deadlift the day before, so just to kind of promote recovery to that area. But light swings are a great way to warm up, and you don't have to go heavy on them, but light swings, actively squeezing your glutes, getting that movement pattern, primed and ready for the movement you're going to do. And it can transfer over to hypertrophy as well, explosive hip power for athletic performance, and just basic, glute strength and hamstring strength to protect the low back in just everyday life, so you don't blow out your back, picking up groceries or something. Some crazy stuff happens, right? So I'll do everything we can for the glutes. So that is number 4. Number 5, mini band work. Now, I absolutely love mini bands. I'll be right back. I'm going to absolutely love mini bands, and here is what I mean by a mini band. This is just a very light mini band here, but you can do all kinds of cool stuff for your glutes, not just your glute max, but there's also there is three glute muscles. For those of you who don't know, there's the glute max, which is the big one, the popular one that everybody knows, right? And then there's the glute minimus and medius, and those are very important in strengthening those for all kinds of, really for anything, whatever you're doing. So it's important to train all 3, not just the big one that is there for kind of aesthetics. The other ones are very important for performance and just preventing low back pain and whatnot. So I love mini band work as a way to warm up for squats and deadlifts, as an accessory movement. I like it as kind of a superset movement if I'm doing, maybe an accessory superset after squats or deads or heavier hip thrust lunges, whatever it happens to be. And cool thing about them is you can do all kinds of things. I think the most popular, probably from the PT world that's transferred over, is just mini band walks, monster walks, you hear them called. You can do with a band as well, X walks. Here, just walking side to side, you really light those glutes up, right? But those are great. You can go forward with it and out, forward and out. I like those. Or like my Mobility Monday video is just glute activation exercises like this with a band. Usually grab onto a pole or something so I can keep the rest of my body steady, so I'm just moving at the hip. But those are wonderful ways to kind of get those glutes firing. And this kind of goes back to train light too, right? You can use these in high rep sets for, for those hypertrophy reasons, for the aesthetic reasons, and also just to promote a lot of blood flow to that area. So mini bands are great. They're super cheap. I highly, highly, highly recommend everyone get a set of these. They have different resistance. This is a very light one. I prefer the light ones for my warm-ups, and I don't like to go too heavy on these because same doing mini band walks. If I get the heaviest version of these, we have 3 different variations here that of resistance levels at the gym, and I don't use the heaviest one, and I deadlift, you know, mid 5s or low 5s. So I don't prefer those necessarily just because I can't always get full range of motion, especially when I'm fatigued. So if I'm doing a mini band walk, I want to be able to get quite a bit of range of motion here to the side, right, with that hip. But if I've got the super heavy one, I'm only might be able to get half range of motion. And for me, you know, I'd rather get the full range of motion. So definitely be careful with those with resistance wise. But Perform Better, they have sets that you can buy, and I'm sure you can find them at various sporting goods stores. We always got them from Perform Better just because that's where we get a lot of our stuff. But all kinds of places have them. Highly recommend investing in a little set of these, and they're cheap, so it's not really a big deal for most people. So those are your 5 tips to get a better butt and healthier peach in the low back. So if you guys have any questions, ask me. Again, there's a lot of people out there that know a lot more than me about this. This is just the stuff that I've kind of applied from those people in my own training and in training my clients, and this is what seems to, you know, work best in my experience training. So check those guys out. Again, Brett Contreras and Charles Poliquin are pretty much the main 2 that I have used as resources for these, whether it's they're writing their videos, whatnot, books, stuff like that. So definitely check those guys out. They know a lot more. I mean, Brett Contreras has dedicated his whole career, you know, his whole academic career to studying the glutes for the most part. So just check that out, guys. And that is it. So hit me up, guys. John Pep Fitness on pretty much everything. J-Pep on Snapchat. Feel free to add me on anything. I will answer any questions that you have. jpepfitness@gmail.com. Always open to emails and whatnot there. So have a great week, guys. Keep chasing it. Get a better booty. Yeah.